ahead of the big day today?
So I should start by probably congratulating NRM. This is part of the democracy in building political parties, and of course many times this may largely either make or break a political party. My reading really of the engagements that have been pre and now, I think that there's been a significant progress by NRM comparative to the previous primaries, which were greatly marred with violence. I think we see a bit of reduced violence for the primary, specifically for NRM. But what worries and what is a bit telling is that there seems to be a significant patterns which are similar from the previous primaries, where you see delay in deliveries of voting materials, where you have the increasing number in which you see the voters are increasingly not willingly, or the number seems to be a bit low, but also you see that the engagement within the political party is a bit reduced. And so for me, I think that this is a great effort for NRM in how they have been able to manage for the hotspots such as Sembabule and maybe Singiro that were largely anticipated in terms of maybe chaos that would have erupted there. I think it has come as expected, but I think that even as what has happened, I think there's been a level of effort to manage that.
Okay, yeah. Thank you very much. And you mentioned something really very important, and I'd like to ask Raymond, picking from where he actually talked about the low voter turnout. We've seen it in Kampala Metropolitan and also in Wakiso district. What could be the cause? Because there was that heat, people were willing to go and vote. What could have caused this?
So, point in case, thank you again. Point in case, for example, in Kampala, you had the voting for MP Kampala Central, which was earlier decided by Minister Kabanda coming as an opposed. So people were coming to vote basically for the member of parliament on the NRM ticket. Okay. And the turnout was really not that much, given the fact that they are looking at only one position and there was no hype. If you go to Nakawa, if you go to Rubaga, the voter apathy, you can blame it on the fact that it is a working day, first of all, and then what people saw in the canvassing of votes from the different candidates, they had a picture of what maybe security might come out and beat them or something. So they stayed back, and then maybe those who are courageous enough went to the polling and maybe line up and all that. So
why would they think security was going to come and beat them up? It's a free and fair election.
Because
for
you see,
the party.
what has happened is that NRM has also had candidates who have, like Tango Doi said, that have hired goons to beat up people. And I remember very well when before the primaries were going to go on, Tango Doi came out and said that all those who are going to hire goons stand warned, in that if you go ahead and hire goons, we might not even hesitate to cancel your voting and all that. So this time around, I think people looked at what might come after, maybe the goons come into all that. You saw a video that has been training, whereby the people have been beaten by goons in Kabalagala, putting on NRM t-shirts,
snatching phones and bags and all that. Okay, that's a clear explanation, and then it brings me again to delve back into this entire process. The lining up behind the candidate, it began earlier, introduced in 2020. I would like to ask in particular, do you think that NRM has achieved what it wanted to achieve when it was deciding on this particular way of voting? Because today we saw young children, you would tell it's a child in a queue actually ready to vote. So do you think the NRM party has achieved what it's supposed to achieve? I
think that the understanding by NRM was to enhance transparency, to create some sense of ownership by the electorate. Of course, there are better alternatives that political parties could adopt, and ultimately we see NRM taking the option of lining up. As of today, we see the National Unity Party, which is also currently in its primaries, opting to do vetting, and some of those in-house mechanisms. But for NRM, I think that this, within the circumstances, has been able to significantly ensure that the electorate are part and parcel of this process.
Okay.
Of course, there are definite challenges that come with this, matters to do with the dignity of the electorate. Sometimes the fear of being victimized for standing on a, so the question of secrecy sometimes is greatly compromised, but I think that political parties should be able to adopt mechanisms that are best available to them to execute the question of democracy. I think what is important is that political parties must work to strengthen the voice of the people in this process.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And finally, for Tamale, you have covered these primaries from the word go. You have had conversations with voters as well as other journalists. We want to ask, they've been marred with violence, though
he said it was mild.
Yeah, he said it was mild, but we saw cases of reporting guns. Today we saw a bomb, and then we've seen cars being burnt, bicycles being burnt, motorcycles. So to a voter in the country, they believe this creates a picture of what will happen ahead of the 2026 general elections. So Tamale, where do you think this leaves us as a country?
It's a big question to understand, but I think it's now upon the electors to decide if they really want to vote or not, because at the end of the day, people have come out and said that even if I go to vote, nothing is going to change. So what really remains right now is not voting for the candidate I want. It's basically about service delivery.
Okay.
If I'm going to vote for someone who's going to echo my problems to Parliament, well and good. If I'm going to vote for someone who's going to sit back and just relax and eat money for 5 years and come back after 5 years and say, vote me again. Because truth be told, no one should lie to you that a legislator is supposed to build a road or a hospital. They're supposed to echo the problems of the constituency, and then government can look into and then create a budget, and maybe something can be done. But what these guys plan about, say, I'm going to build you a road, I'm going to build you a hospital, which is not applicable at all, because how much money are you earning as an MP to build a road which is going to be in trillion shillings? So basically, the electorate need to understand that at the end of the day, if someone is coming to you to ask for your vote, let them be truthful to you and understand that when you promise me something, how am I going to hold you accountable after 5 years?
Thank you very much, Raymond Tamale, and I would like to also finally have your input on exactly that question.
I think that the political parties and the process is that the risk is that we are likely to have more independence. Those that have not been successful in this primaries,
and they feel they are disgruntled.
They are disgruntled. And for the previous precedents, you'll find that there are quite a number. There's a good percentage of those that didn't make it for the primaries. When they come through for the national elections, they go through. And I think that is sometimes it's a clarion call to political parties to ensure that there's a sense in which there's a clear transparency, so that then there is a higher representation within political parties as opposed to independence.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chemonges Timothy, and thank you so much, Raymond Tamale, for those insightful views. I know the world is happy to know that we are broadly still covering, and we shall be bringing you the details as they come in.